No more Democrats in charge. It's June 3rd, 2024, and these are your headlines. Well, I told you that after the runoff elections, things were going to move fast in the Texas House, and now you have a majority of Texas House Republicans saying they do not want Democrats placed in leadership positions next session, which is, of course, a strong rebuke of a policy that's been embraced by Speaker Dade Phelan. The letter, which was signed by 46 current and incoming Republican members, says, in a collective effort to respond to Republican voters and reform the Texas House, we will only vote for a candidate for Speaker pursuant to the platform and the caucus bylaws who will, and this is the important part, only appoint Republicans as committee chairs. Phelan, meanwhile, has repeatedly defended the practice of placing Democrats as chairs of committees, despite the fact that ending the practice has been a priority of the Republican Party of Texas. In a recent interview, he said he would not waver, those were his words, from placing Democrats in charge, despite the fact that Republicans have the majority in the chamber. Now, this statement comes as a group of lawmakers have been circulating a contract with Texas, which is a series of 12 proposed reforms to end the Democrat power sharing that is prevalent in the House. Representative Nate Schatzline, one of the contract with Texas signers, told Texas Scorecard that the group will continue pushing for all 12 points. He said the majority of the Texas House Republican caucus has agreed to support 2 points in the contract with Texas, effectively blocking Dade Phelan from gaining the caucus endorsement for Speaker. However, he added, we can't stop here. The 21 signers of the contract with Texas remain steadfast in supporting a Speaker who we believe will enact all 12 points. Attorney General Ken Paxton also applauded the move, calling it a step in the right direction. Calls are growing for lawmakers to protect Texans from rogue prosecutors. This comes after Donald Trump became the highest profile victim of lawfare in the modern political era. Observers have expressed that Texans are at risk and the time for Texas to act is now. The outcome of Thursday's verdict might not have been surprising, especially if you watched a lot of the trial, but it was shocking, as evidenced by the tone and tenor of the response from the center-right compared to the left. Trump's campaign received a windfall in support from brand new donors. President Biden, well, he did not receive a similar whirlwind. Legal analysts from across the political spectrum have taken issue with Judge Merchan's actions during the trial, with many coming to the conclusion that he wasn't primarily concerned with ensuring justice was served, but securing a guilty verdict in service of derailing Trump's presidential campaign. So, is it time that Texans were protected from these out-of-control rogue prosecutors? Well, Texas's top 3 lamented the ruling. That's Governor Greg Abbott, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, and Attorney General Ken Paxton, as they all posted opposition to the verdict on social media. Patrick and Paxton both took time to attend the proceedings in New York in recent weeks as well. In 2023, Attorney General Ken Paxton, of course, faced a politically motivated impeachment from the Texas House. The Texas Senate acquitted him. He's also reportedly under investigation by the FBI. Attorney Tony McDonald confirmed to Texas Scorecard that the political persecution of both Trump and Paxton represents an escalation in lawfare. The citizens have seen politically motivated judges and prosecutors warp statutes, lawmakers remove protections to target disfavored individuals retroactively, and executives selectively ignore the plain text of the law they're sworn to uphold. The question now is, how will Texas's public servants respond?
Each weekday, join the Texas Minute for a first look at the top news of the Lone Star State. I'm Michael Quinn Sullivan, the host of the Texas Minute. The Texas Minute exists to make sure real Texans have the news they need to affect Texas. You can find the Texas Minute at TexasScorecard.com or everywhere you listen to podcasts.
Last up on Friday, Mayor John Whitmire and outgoing Harris County District Attorney Kim Ogg announced 7 people have been indicted for 14 public corruption felonies ranging from abuse of official capacity to tampering with evidence. The charges are related to a scheme surrounding the City of Houston's water repair contracts. Patrice Lee, the lead defendant and a former city employee, apparently had access to $80 million of city funds for emergency water line repair. Well, in the summer and fall of 2022, Lee was in a position to recommend vendors for contracts with the City of Houston Public Works Department to repair the water lines. Lee allegedly made agreements with companies to have them hire her as a consultant to receive a kickback in exchange for expedited payments and bigger contracts. She also targeted less experienced companies and offered her services to help them get paid faster or to get bigger and better contracts in the future as well. Lee allegedly received roughly $320,000 in payments from that scheme, and then steered contracts to a company owned by her big brother, allowing them to be paid more than $400,000, of which she immediately transferred $380,000 to her own company. The total amount she stole from the city was $700,000. For more of today's stories, go to TexasScorecard.com.